So let's do some analysis. I think this will be particularly necessary, but it'll be fun to do. Especially since we did win. Let's get the classic settings in order, and now we can watch. Alright, so going off the start here, we make a pretty hefty mistake. Which will come shortly. By hefty, I mean we literally failed the first hurdle. Mason somehow just doesn't take the TP, and I don't understand how that happens. We made fun of him for this afterwards, but he just whiffs the TP. He doesn't hold down F properly, which, like, all right, sure. But I guess it's something. And so now we're down our tank, which is literally the most important character. And so as a result, we can't really play this and take the space. Or we can't really hold the space properly. But for some reason, UCLA just plays super passive and scared and doesn't actually take the space, take advantage of the fact that we don't have a tank. They probably don't realize, but even still, they're playing this very far back. And so Scar's able to get a good wall off to stall them, while Mason actually gets back. And now we're still at a disadvantage. We just burned two of the most important cooldowns in our comp, our Nemesis form and our wall. And we are at a massive disadvantage as a result, and we should have to give up a ton of space. But for some reason, they kite 2-point, which is in very good position because it gives you a lot of word sightlines and gives the enemy a lot of space. And because of that, we're able to just stabilize and walk in with a positional advantage. They have given up all of the important space on the map, and we are heavily favored here. And now we can watch my POV. So I beat our Chaser, and now we're at a massive advantage in this fight. Scarred wall here. Okay, Scarred waste wall. But they are still back in, but given a ton of space because, like I said before, this position just isn't very good. The enemy can get too many angles on you, and there's too little. Mason oversteps out low HP. Yeah, he just needs to stabilize here. He's at half HP, and they're giving up all the space on the map, but instead he keeps running forward, and he doesn't pop his Nemesis form or anything. He just dies. And so that mistake on him, plus me, I'm playing too far away. This position is fine during the poke phase, and I've been Merchaser here. But once I see Mason get like this, I should be TPing in so that way my heals reach him faster. But I TP too late, I don't heal Mason, and Mason plays too aggressively, and he dies. And this is a bit of a precarious position. Now we're disadvantaged. We still have the space, we still have the angles, but we've lost our most important character. Meanwhile, they've lost a Mirror Tracer. And Zach, our Precision player, just gets beamed. Does he just get run on? Yeah, he just gets run on and doesn't slide away, so he dies. And now we really should lose this fight. But somehow, I think we win this if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, Scar gets an insane stall off. So meanwhile, this entire time, they can't cap point because Scar is just stalling, which is massive. And he's just doing this dance on top of his wall. And he's lived, and he's still stalling. And he beams their Tracer once he comes back from spawn. And by this point, Scarred has hard carried this fight by spending so long stalling that Mason is now back in the fight. So, what was a 2v5 of me and Scarred being the only ones alive has now become a 4v4. And now, we still have this position advantage, and we can just win. Which is what happens. And they've burned all their cooldowns chasing Scarred, so we're just able to run off. Yeah, I'm a bit confused. I don't know why their team thinks playing point is a good idea, but that's the way they want to play it. Alright, so here they have an advantage. They have Rush, meanwhile we're pretty far away from all of our ults. Our closest ult is Blizzard, which we'll probably get in time, but with Rush they can easily just kite out the Blizzard or run through it, which means Blizzard's hard to get value off of. So we call to do play a bit slow here until we build an ultimate, either launch out or Rush, and then we're going to hard engage with that. I need... So, since our goal is to be building an ultimate, we need to be trying to build a lot faster. Mason's doing fine here. I need to be playing a more aggressive angle. Or, not even more aggressive, just a better angle out here. That way I can spam the wrist and get my ult, which is what will win us this fight. Okay, yeah, this is huge on my part. It's not particularly skillful, but I'm just spamming the corridor, and I get a pick on their Kiriko. And so, as a result, they've lost their second most valuable character. Actually, probably what is their most valuable character. And their ult shouldn't get very much value. Now, here's a really bad play on our part. Instead of kiting away out of the Kiriko ult, and just having Mason touch on point and stay alive, we split here, where half our team kites away off of point, and half our team pushes in. And this can very easily be punished if they just turn around like it's scouted. But we don't stay split for very long, and we do end up surviving Brain so because they don't have a Kiriko. And so that lucky pick just wins this. Okay. So, now that they've used their now that they've used their best ultimate comp and lost the fight, meanwhile we've used no ultimates and we won the fight, we're at the same point where we can just ult cycle them for the rest of the map and just get a very easy win. Here we call to play close to rush in and use Ram. The Ram might be a bit overkill, but it confirms out the fight, and they do have a lot of ultimates, so we don't want to risk them being able to turn it. Now that I think back on it, a better call probably would have been to rush in and Blizzard afterwards, because saving Ram out for another fight. Using both Rush and Ram out is a bit overkill, and saving Ram out for a better fight would have been more worth it. I'd rather have Ram out as our main ult commit this fight than Blizzard as our main. But oh well. So Sky's making a mistake here. He's playing too far back and focusing way too hard on his Tracer, and as a result, he can't follow up on this rush, which means he can't get walls off to lock them into a rush, and it's harder to get kills. If Scarred is playing with our team here, he probably lands a good wall, and we probably don't even have to use Ram ult. So, we rush in. So, oh, so stream playing. Okay, so we rush in, and since Scar's not with us, one, we are lacking a major source's damage, and two, they're just able to kite away and shoot White Room. Now, we're still favored here. Our rush is still active. It's still one of the best ultimates in the game. And they've burned a ton of cooldowns in this kite. And the beat does help them stabilize, but we're still favored. Scar does return to the fight in time. He lands a really good wall off, which is nice to beat value. And we kill the Orisa even though she resulted. Scar also uses Blizzard here, which probably wasn't necessary and probably didn't get any value. Yeah, Rush was still active. We don't, and we still had a ton of positional advantage. We didn't need Blizzard for the speed. We could have waited until they pushed up a bit, just a bit more, especially since they landed such a good wall. But that's a fairly that's a nitpick. It's not the worst Blizzard and does win us the fight. Okay, I think this actually ends up being a fairly close fight, even though both our ults were good. Because I think we just end up hard splitting. So we land Blizzard off, we kill the Orisa, good. Why did Skyward end up so far up? Oh, Scar's just pushing too far. End up past the wall. Yeah, Scar's just pushing too far and for no real reason. It's not like he's following up in people who got frozen. No one's frozen here. No one's going to get frozen. This just zones the enemy team, and we should. Then they all still have beat. We should be focusing Orisa here. So Scar pushes in too far, gets picked, and so we trade it. But this trade still favors us. We have the positional advantage. They should never be able to cross this, while they don't have a tank, and we have the hero advantage in which a Orisa is more valuable than a Mei. So here's what really screws us. Mason starts pushing in off this, which is fine. Let's push it in. We kill the Kiriko, which is huge. But I'd start getting pummeled by a Tracer on point, and my entire team turns to peel for me. Meanwhile, Mason's alone. And so this is just a split on team's part. I call that Mason. I call Mason that he's alone, but yeah, he thinks he can end up getting the kill. Wait, actually, it's just a Tracer point. This fight was a lot less close than I thought it was. I thought that was like a really scrappy fight, but no, we actually won that pretty handily. And now we have 3 ults, and they have 0 ults, and we should just win this. They needed to, in that previous fight, they needed to not step as hard onto our Kiriko ult, or not step as far up when they knew we had a Kiriko ult, and they needed better. The beat shouldn't have gotten forced. And if, when their beat did get forced, they shouldn't have put themselves in a position where they could split by wall. Now, they swap Hanzo, which I have no clue why. Because it's not like the Hanzo is really going to back in time. Like, if we realized this Hanzo was out here, we could have just rushed and taken a 5v4. But we didn't, which is unlucky. Okay. So, ideally, we would rush White Room with Ramatch ult. But Mason's still coming after spawn. We're late on speeding him. And so they're already here by the time our Ramatch gets back. So we overclocked the stall a bit. The overclock was a bit early, but it's not the worst thing. And Mason gets back. So we used our overclock. Now we just want to hard engage with him. So we split the Orisa with much help. This beat just wasn't needed. Our team is full HP. Kill the Lucio. And now, once again, we have a massive split on targets. Scarred is on bridge for some reason. Yes, he could duel the Hanzo, but rather than taking a duel, it's just more consistent. You just land a wall here and get the easiest kill of your life on the Orisa. It's not his job to deny bridge. Bridge isn't even that particularly to deny. And so, Scar's over here. We're appealing for Zac after he's getting Divider, so which is fine. And then rather than tree on the Rasan point, since she uses these skills. Which isn't the worst thing, but it does mean we're split. Which does mean like there is a world where they're able to get a few picks. But it's so unlikely that it doesn't. If the fights were closer, though, it absolutely would have been an advantage. Okay, they decided to run dive, which it's a weird choice. We're running a brawl comp on very flat points, which means that it's pretty easy for us to play. We should just the comp has enough mobility and survivability that we should just be able to sustain engage and afterwards just brawl and chew the monkey and blow him up. Okay, so we call chew rotate point. They give us this rotation for free, which is a big mistake. When we're crossing either here or here, this is when we're vulnerable. And they need to dive us here before we set up, or else we're just going to spam them while they walk up, and then their dive is going to be that much weaker. So we call to engage on them and brawl into them. This probably isn't an optimal play because we have to burn a lot of cooldowns and resources to push out of a choke, and there's not really anyone for us to brawl into. The Sojourn is far away and should never. Kiriko has her cooldowns. Mercy should never die. And the monkey has all of his cooldowns. And is really just exactly where it needs to be. But it does set tempo, and it does probably catch the enemy off guard, so it's not a bad play. There will be plenty of teams where you do just get a pick by them feeding. Sonic overextends and is picked, but Scar's able to trade out with the Mercy. And now we're just able to get point control because we did force them back. We just they're not set for that, and we just have a better comp for this. Scar gets a solo kill on their Kiriko as well. Yeah, okay. So the Kiriko just gets run over by Scarred. And now we've just won the fight. We lost our most important character. Alright, so this fight. Jason's playing up front, which is good if we want to set tempo aggressive. But I think here it makes it harder for it. It makes it too easy for him to get split and engaged on. And I think since we want to basically just spam the same ways and make them cross the open distance than the open choke, it would be better to play back a point. And what happened right there is exactly what should happen. We spam them. We force resources such as health. He engages. He isn't able to engage on anything. We use our survivability cooldowns. And then he either has to die or run away. Meanwhile, we're just taking control. No, their Tracer gets a pulse off. Unlucky. But Scar trades out with a kill on the Tracer. So here, their monkey engages again. We just have to blow him up and stabilize. It's time to ram up the monkey to confirm kill. And now we can just run in with it. I think ram ulting here is greedy. Chances of us killing this monkey are very low. He is able to just jump out like he did last time. And we can't really engage on anything here since we're playing back a point. We'll be able to force the monkey out, stabilize, and then walk up and then ram out here and hard engage up. So now they're just able to kite the ram all the way. And this rush really wasn't even needed, but they used it anyways to clean out the fight. Finish how many cooldowns we used in ulting and engaging here, and now we just die. So really we just needed to play that a lot safer. How did I die? Oh, since Mason was engaging, I got spit by bubble. I had to go show him. Alright. So now that they have the space control, it's obviously a this is how control works. But since they also used a lot of ults that fight, and we did too, but we have better ults because of our comp, we're at a significant advantage. We can just rush on point after living engage. So right here, we just want to spam the monkey out, make it so he can't engage on his cross. We don't actually spam the monkey out, don't actually push him out, but he doesn't engage on us for some reason. And so now we complete our full rotation across the map, and their monkey just used this loop, so he's out of the fight, and we can just rush on point and just blow him up on point. Their team needed to engage on this massive cross. This was their kill box. Scarred's playing off of some reason. I think he wanted to take advantage of the rush, but it isn't really. But at least pushing out this far isn't. No, I think pushing out that far is fine. I think it's just unlucky that Scar got blown up instantly. Or maybe we should have been playing aggressive with him. Let's see. Is it just a miscommunication? Yeah, Scar just kind of gets pummeled. Probably could have been playing cover better. The hard split. We get hard split. So we lost Skyrim. We should be backing up and stabilizing, which is what we do. Or yeah, it's the same issue. Actually, all this comes down to this one mistake where we are just pushing into them when we don't really need to, and as a result, we're using cooldowns. Here, we've already used Nemesis form. We've probably already used Milk. No, we haven't used Milk, but we're already using our Torbjorn. And now we use Milk here. And now we're out of position, and we've used all our cooldowns, and so we just get blown up when we engage with heralds. We also don't beat here. Yeah, Sonic is just panicked and doesn't realize he needs speed, and then he beats late when we're all dead. It's unfortunate. Okay, Skyward's back and we're able to stop this fight a lot, but this fight isn't very winnable. There's no way we win this. Did Kiriko die? How does their team get blown up like this? Oh, the Kiriko gets forced out by Sky respawning. And they get an split. So they just mess up the follow-up. They just mess up, right? Alright, here they play the smart and they go high ground. If they went low ground at all, which one would be really dumb, but two, it's really hard for us to, or we can really easily stuff these doors and they just die. We're the brawl comp, we have better brawl. And our comp is just better in general. But they go high ground, so we can't stuff these doors, and now we can spam them here, but we have to back up. That was a good play on their part. Now, since we have an odd advantage, we no longer have to play back, and we call it a play aggressive and play into them. Which, we can see the value of aggression here. It catches Wisps completely off guard, and we get a free kill. Now, we need to be playing a lot more aggressively as a team. I think this is just miscommunication. When Skyward is completely out of position, trying too hard to zone flankers. But our team's playing too far back right here. Because I couldn't speak from my thought process. I think our kill box is right here in this courtyard, whereas Mason's trying to kill box right here. Actually, no, this isn't even misreading a kill box. I'm just playing back because I'm afraid Scar's going to get picked by the Echo, which is fair. And then our Sojourn's just playing very far back. So yeah, we just weren't set up for an aggressive play as a team. Which is probably my bad. I probably didn't call a fight plan kill box here. It's getting late, so I'll just do one more stupid song. You know, Skirt, we'll do all the maps. I can speed through these pretty quickly. So we're on dive here. Sonic gets picked in rotation. Yeah, he just messes up his wall right, loses all momentum. Picked by a very easy Widow shot. And here, I don't like this dive. I don't think it it's a very good dive because we're not really diving anything. When Mason dives here, this doesn't really create any pressure or really do anything. He's just zapping the Sigma he's never going to kill. And he should just be able to get spammed out and lose all his cooldowns. And Scarred's engaging, but he's not able to follow up on this dive at all. And because this dive is so desynced, it does get a value, they're just able to kite it when the map should have been a very easy kill. And we lose. But then Mason overcommits even deeper instead of backing out or trying to clear backgrounds. And I think he dies for it. Yeah, he does. We just need to actually kill box around here and not overcommit once we forced him off high ground. Alright, so we have a better kill box here. Let's see, what am I doing here? I need to be spamming the Widow there and creating pressure on her, so Mason doesn't get headshot. And also, Mason needs to be turned around, so he can't get headshot easily with this. Yeah, and because he eats that headshot, he just dies. I do kill Wisps though, so if we take a fast fight here, we should be able to get back before he hits. They should have to back up. Oh, except we swap Sigma comp, so take that fast fight. And now Wisp is back. But they did have to give up space for that, which is so Skyrd picks their Sojourn, which is massive. But then Sank is just playing 2-4 wide with. Instead of playing here with cover, we can spam Sig here or use this door as a flank. Instead of playing out or out here with cover, where he actually has cover, he's just playing top card on the open and he gets farmed by this window. And as a result, we aren't able to push our advantage in our E. Now these sites while we regroup, so we just have to wait this out and just regroup. Let's pick Skyward, unlucky. Okay. Here, I call the fight plan to engage with Rush and then Flex, that we were able to take the space and then follow on Flex pretty easily. But here, Mason flexes first, and as a result, we're too far back, getting zoned out, that we can't actually follow up and make so this flex. And as a result, the flex gets no value. And we also get picked during the flex, which is unlucky. That's just a miscommunication. I presume Mason didn't hear the fight plan. Give me 1 sec. So now, now we just want to rush in and try to find something. Hopefully, it gives us enough time. The rushing gives us enough time to build our trinket overclock. But we get hit by the flex. I don't think there's a world. I don't think there's a world where we can avoid Dynasty Flex. Hypothetically, I probably could have TP'd the Skyward and then launched a Suzu here and saved this from the Flex. But I'm not mad about playing this the way I did. Not too upset about it, at least. And yeah, they just have a massive advantage. We haven't built Trank yet because we swapped and we just lose. We swapped comps and we messed up our ult fight. So they just had massive advantage. Now let's see. We have an orange. Do we have an orange? Let's see. We have Overclock Trank. They have Window Trank. It's pretty even. Pretty sure we do just get picked here. Yeah, Scarred gets picked by the Widow. Mason gets picked. That's unlucky. That's tough. Oh wait, we still have a defense to go through. Where's Scarred playing? Yeah, he's playing. We pick Wisps, which is kind of huge. This is invigorating gameplay. Very fun map. Very cool. There's just nothing right here. It's just Sniper Duels, the map. I feed. I shouldn't have played in way where I got hit and was forced to drop there. We give this much space. Oh, they just push cart without me contesting on the S-Spec. This is fine. Why are we all playing Sever back at this point? Sun drops off high ground. Actually, yeah, Mason backing here forces us all to back. Yeah, we just aren't able to find a pick in time, so we just all have to back and give up space. That way they can't wrap us. And then this is a pretty critical mistake. We shouldn't all be stacking like this. We need to be developing the left side so we can contest high ground off angles. So as who's playing left doesn't really matter so much. Probably me and either Skyward or Zach. Probably me and Zach. I play this left side, and then we're able to contest this high ground spam them. Alright, we window first and get a pick on the map as a result. Kind of huge. And this is just kind of tragic. Sonic is playing too aggressively. And so he gets caught in the flex. And as a result, he isn't able to build Trant. He should have just been playing cover back here. I just whiff my lamp. Oh yeah, I lamp my window so we can test it and not give up space. I think that's fine. I don't want them to push past this window. And I was expecting them to counter window. And that just loses us the map. Unfortunate. So, now it's 1-1. We are now in a rematch mirror. They go out left side, or they go up bot side, which is interesting because you don't tend to see a lot of teams do that. I presume it's just because they wanted better LS for their Widow. This probably gives their Widow a scary position where they can get ball on Chu than this. But their Mercy messes up the rotation. Yeah. She just doesn't use Guardian Angel, and as a result gets picked. Is there a hallway here? Oh, yeah, there is. Yeah, just walks out through the open. We kill their Ramacha. Yeah, because they're doing this massive rotation, we're just able to walk on them and blow up their Ramacha. Since both their DPS spent half the team fight rotating through a wall. And so we just got the kills. So, here Mason gets picked because he's playing Chufa on open. He wants to push bot, so he's playing here. But it sacrifices his position. He either needs to be properly stuffing these doors, or if they go this side, he needs to back up and play this choke right here. Because these provide him actual covers and chokes to play off of. Or here he's playing open. And it should just be someone else's job pushing here. Actually, if we're taking a fight here, we probably just don't even need it. Just win the fight and then push it out. And as a result, Mason gets picked and wins the fight. Even though we do trade out Widows. Or we do trade out with the Widow. None of us are able to find a lucky pick. As much as we try. We're able to stay alive though, which is kind of huge. And Mason should come back. Right. Oh wow, Mason gets rolled. I feel like that launcher should have died earlier. He's just blocking. Yeah, Mason just overextends punches instead of blocks, and he gets blown up. But then their overclock is just bigger. It's Batman. Okay, here I'm just not able to build that last percent to my Kiriko fast enough. I whiff too many shots, and as a result, uh, we drop without Kiriko ulting. This was miscommunication. I should have called that I didn't have Kiriko ult yet, and that we should wait. But Mason drops thinking we have Kiriko ult. I don't have ult yet because I keep missing shots, and they rush first, and we just lose the fight. But then we also burn a fields. Trying to fight that. So we force out the Sojourn, and then we engage with Rush. I just get rolled by the fire. I should have been healing there. And then I just died during my fade. Yeah, if I was just healing there, I wouldn't have needed to up. So scared. So they barrage and die. It's a very scuff fight, but they have res, so they're at advantage. These kinds of tricks. let's watch this back. This dive is a bit shallow. Actually, it's fine. We force the Sojourn cooldowns, we kill the Sojourn. It's good. But I feed and get picked. Oh, Sonic forces my milk in. So he's gonna be alright. I should have had better awareness of where the car was and that she was there. It would have been difficult, but ideally I would have better awareness. And I can LS her properly until I get my fade up. But that doesn't happen. It's unfortunate. Sun gets picked and we're trading out. Mason dives in on Mercy, but there's enough up for it, so she just gets away. And since we don't have Kiriko, we're not able to stabilize after that dive. Once I feed, we need all our dives to basically be perfect. Because we're relying entirely off of trades, and we have a limited amount of engagements we can take. So here we just need to stabilize. We're able to kill their Sojourn, who's out of position. And we're able to kill their the Kiriko. And so we just won the fight. How do we get a pick here? Alright, yeah, the Kiriko oversteps and feeds, and so we get a really good dive off. A really clean dive off. And we're able to kill them. I have to fade in to help Skyward. And as a result, in saving Skyward, I die. I'm trying to think if this is a better way to play this. Yeah. If Skyward was, it was just a bad engage on part. If Skyward's going to commit this hard on Afara, where he just dies. If he doesn't get the kill off, he needs to just a shot. Also, how does Zac die? Oh, okay. He drops off of high ground unnecessarily and tries to rotate to right side. Or and then commits slide to rotate to right side. Now he doesn't have slide. Let's get this run on. But we are still even, as long as we're able to deny reds. They're definitely favored with their greater heal. But it's possible for us to win this. Mason needed. Okay, no, never mind. That was fine. He eats a lot of damage. Yeah, he's peeking this for too long, so he went from like 400 HP. He dives too high up. Just very slightly too high. Or he dives in less of the enemy, so just diving the bridge. and as a result, he eats a lot of damage. And because I'm dead, we obviously can't. It's not a significant mistake. I mean, I just need to not die. We commit beat and the side spinnable. But I don't think we actually engage on anything. Yeah, business communication. I was trying to see if Mason need. Oh yeah, I think he was just trying to get out and then beat dropped. And we were able to get a kill, but we do trade out Sonic. And it's just a very scuffing fight. But we've got the response up by now, so we have an advantage. And our overclock is just bigger. Oh, this was such a bad rush on me. Why did I rush? Oh, I can't see the enemy. I think they're going to push this. I see the Ramacha trying to walk in. And so I think we need... And Mason's at 1 HP, so I think I need to stabilize. But the Ramacha was just walking in. Yeah, this rush is fine. I don't blame myself too much. I couldn't have known. I couldn't have known that they were playing that far back. And it does get us a kill, as we get a really nice pincer off. So... we cap point and pick high, and we start to wait for them for our kill box. Trying to think about how blue team should have played this. I think they play it fine. This is really all you can do in the situation without giving our progress. You kind of just have to walk through this brutal choke. And we should be able to get a very clean off of it. And we do. They needed to play with stack. What's this will dive? They just needed to execute a roll. Like their Bastion's already wastes. See. Their Bastion's already wasting his turret on a bubble that wasn't really getting any value. And then the Romancha oversteps, forces all the team's cooldowns. Now they have no cooldowns, and we recognize that and just engage up it. They just need to spam us out first and then walk up. Especially since they would have had Ram up by then. So they've had that fight. Okay. So here Skyward makes the call that he doesn't want to take the fight in this area. He wants to back up and use high grounds. I disagree with this, and It's not a bad call on his part, but I think the better call is to try to take the fight there. And here's why. If we second. If we back up, take the fight up here, they push the bot 2 around here, we take the fight here, we win the fight. We then have to push the bot all the way back here. And then start pushing it past here to get advantage. Which means, at best, we probably get it 2 around here before they get a recontest. And that's if we win the fight. And we... whereas, instead, if we take the fight here and try to hold him at this choke, somewhere in this alley, during the entire fight we're holding up this choke and this fight's going on, they're not able to contest bot. So we push bot from here all the way to up here if we lose the fight. Worst case scenario. Maybe like right here at worst case scenario. And if we win the fight, we still only get to push it all the way up here, which is massive. And that amount of card progress warrants the risk of taking less favored fight. And there is still plenty of high ground to abuse, even here, even if it's just not quite as strong of high ground. So I think it's still worth it to take here. But that isn't what ends up losing us the fight. Not because we made a slightly suboptimal call where we could have gone on less card progress. Skari makes his call to play back, take the fight here, and back up. Slunk doesn't hear the call, and he backs up way too late and gets picked. And as a result, we just lose the fight. It's unlucky. It happens. And so now we're both down a player and down alts. Even though we have potential advantage, we can't really make up for this. Oh, and Zach also messes up his Kaiko. Zach shouldn't have been starting all over in here. He should have. He should have been. Actually, no, this position is fine. He just needed to kite better. I don't know if there's a way to get up here. Let's see. Yeah, you probably just slide up here, then get up here. I think you can do that. I'm not so sure, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. And Zach just needs to thing right here. Because right here, he can get walked on easily. And he messes up his fight and gets picked. And now the fight's just lost. Skyred still tries to bleed it, though. I respect the optimism. Alright, they engage first with Route, and we can't build our Curie Rush yet because we have to contest before they get advantage. Song just overextends and gets picked. And that's kind of what loses us the fight. Also, I think Mason needed to be safer here. Probably thinks he doesn't have space to give, which is fair. Yeah, this is kind of just a really fucked fight. They have a massive world advantage, and we can't make up for it because we threw the last fights too hard. I miss enough shots that I'm like 5% away from each when we need it. Unlucky. And so now we're down 2-1. But we are able to turn this around. Is this fight right feed? Yeah, this is fight right feed. Alright, Mason peeks before Chuang, or for Chuang before rotating high. As a result, he takes too much damage. I'm not with Mason. I should have been rotating with Mason and healing him throughout this. Oh, but I'm healing Skyward. And I have tunnel vision on shooting there. Okay, so I'm very late in TPing Mason, and as a result, he gets. I TP there a second earlier, he lives, and we probably just win this fight. Unlucky. And here I think we do the same rotation, but we do it clear. Mason's eaten this much damage and already uses bubble before he can engage in anything, which is really bad. He's eating a lot of spam. Mason just doesn't need to be forcing out this Sojourn himself. He needs to be avoiding taking damage, and we can just let everyone else force her out. And so now, he tries to leap up here, but he has no health and no cooldown, so he would have died if he left up here. And his leap gets slowed, which that part is unlucky. That's for it. Or actually, I don't think he dies for it. Yeah, they don't punish us using our cooldowns in Brawl for some reason. Why don't they? Let's see. They should just use Slide Up, but that's fine. They can still engage up. I mean, their comp's just not very good. They're running a hard spam comp with so they can't really. Their comp's just kind of playing to get picks, but we just don't give them enough opportunities to get picks, and slash they don't find the picks that they need. Their comp, I just don't think their comp is very good. It's too inconsistent. So we rotate. We get a ton of space because we're running a dive comp into a hard spam comp. Our comp counters theirs, and they have to play very, very good. We dive the Widow, we force her out. This is a very scuff dive on our part. Our Sojourn is completely zoned out. Our Skyward is shooting a different target. Okay. Oh, our Sojourn was zoned because Dormacha spent the entire team fight using her. Which is a bad play on Dormacha. Skyward is late on this engage. He probably just doesn't realize Mason's gonna use this and no, Skyward just isn't trying to follow up on the engage. You can tell because of where he's looking. And as a result of that, very decent target focus. I'm not able to find anything. But then Precision still dies here. I don't want to figure out. Oh, Precision just messes up her slide. What's this happen? Okay. She just slides into a wall. That's it. She just slides into a wall. Unlucky. So we're able to get picks off this because they waste their